All right, guys, here we are playing against Daegu. We're at home here, and the Daegu team was in first place. They still have the best goal differential in the entire league, but I think that we do have a chance here against them. Let's see what we can get done. We are currently in second position. They're in fifth, so they've lost, I think, like 2 matches in a row, something like that, which means that we should be able to take advantage of their poor run of form and get something going. We have sort of a middle size, maybe a little bit under half audience here. And of course, here at Seoul World Cup Stadium, you can't tell that it's Seoul World Cup Stadium. I mean, it doesn't even look anything like it. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this design. Anyway, Na Sang-ho with it over to Ing-gu. Na Sang-ho is not 100%, and that might show as this game wears on. Here is a corner right off the bat. Lee Taek-soo is going to knock this one up and over and ends up being headed backwards. Oh Sang-jin goes back to get it, passes to Osmar, and his shot is off. Ing-gu tries, and unfortunately that's a little bit too high, and so still nothing. So we'll see what we can do here. See if we can't get a goal in, get some offense, and get the fans riled up. Here's Lee Taek-soo over to Ki Sung-young. Back to Lee Taek-soo. Lee Taek-soo pulls this up left side. The cross is deflected. Na Sang-ho can't quite get to it, but he works hard to get back to it. Ing-gu knocks it forward, ends up being a corner for us. So we got something out of nothing there. And let's try this again. Here is Lee Taek-soo with the corner. And it's lifted forward. It goes to just about nobody. Na Sang-ho is there to bring it back over to Lee Taek-soo again. Passed over towards the middle, and that's going to do just about nothing. So much for that. So that ends up being a chance that goes totally missing. And we still have no score here at the beginning of this match. Not quite as easy as playing Guangzhou was, I'll tell you that. Go Johan throws this in to nobody in particular, and that wasn't very good. Lee Han-bun wins this in the back and then ends up losing possession right away, which is potentially a problem. Now it's Edgar Silva who's got this in a good position, but Osmar is there to knock it backwards. Only so far, though, but Oh Sang-jin saves the day, wins the ball off of them, and forward to Ing-gu. It ends up with Kim Jin-sung down to Na Sang-ho. And do we have a counter? Kim Jin-sung down to Na Sang-ho. Na Sang-ho just takes a shot from range. And so, I mean, that is an idea, I guess. I think that we probably could have tried a little bit harder to really get something out of that and see we've given up a counterattack from them. And so it's going to be a corner here now for Daegu. What a stretch of about a minute of game time here. This has been pretty impressive. Sinha is going to take this corner, and fortunately Novak, a 15-year-old, is there to rip that one out of the sky. Pretty good for 15 years old, isn't he? Here's a throw from Lee Taek-soo. Lee Tae-suk, I should say, over to Na Sang-ho. And ends up with Jung Hyun-chol, whose shot is deflected. Oh Sang-jin runs after that ball that's been knocked up and out, but can't quite get there, and it'll be another corner for us. So Lee Tae-suk did a good job finding Na Sang-ho this time around and sort of blocking the guy, obstructing him from getting to him, but we ended up with very little out of that in the end. Here's Lee Tae-suk again, and this is going to be hit straight back to him. I suppose he's onside. And that almost went in. That's up and off the very top crossbar. That was very, very close to being a goal. So positive, definitely. Na Sang-ho with the shot, and that one is deflected before it can get anywhere. We're having a hard time. I think that they're trying to lure us into the trap. Ki Sung-young goes back to get this and passes down to Novak. I think you've noticed that they haven't had much of an attack other than just countering. Lee Han-bum over to Go Johan. Go Johan all the way over to Lee Tae-suk. I've told you I hate it when they do that, but they'll do it from time to time. To Ing-gu, who ignores the fact that he's got two guys in front of him and tries to shoot anyway. Ki Sung-young gets that over to Lee Tae-suk, and that's the end of that attacking movement. So we had a little bit something on that, I suppose, but we ended up with nothing at the end. And some of the players are still probably feeling a little bit tired, a little bit worn down. This is, I think, the hardest match that we've had so far this season. Ing-gu with a very good tackle over to Oh Sang-jin, forward to Na Sang-ho, but it can't quite get to him. And that was just a little bit far in front of him. I mean, that was really, really well timed and well thought out, but just didn't quite work. Osmar saved that and then gets the ball back over to Oh Sang-jin. And it's not a particularly good pass by Osmar, and this has led to a chance for them, and they have taken advantage of it. Pablo Gonzalez ends up scoring that goal, and it's 1-0 for Daegu. And I think you could tell that was going to come. And just as I was saying a second ago, it's been all counterattack all the time. And the problem is that he just sort of hung back out in space. We have three guys standing there, and nobody's covering him. Nobody's marking him. Nobody's paying any attention. Instead, we're all sort of standing there in the back, kind of looking at each other. And that was pretty bad. Let's see if we can get this one back. Itae Suk here with a corner. We haven't had much luck on corners recently. Ki Sung-young is denied, and so we'll try this again. And I'm guessing this was a clear-cut chance. I don't know. I guess it was because the header was not completely off target. Whatever. For whatever reason, they showed us that replay. Here's another attempt. And this is just headed straight back out. Itae Suk is going to go back and get this over to Na Sang-ho, and his shot is up and over and always rising, and so that's going to be the end of that. We got about 5 minutes left of this half, and Na Sang-ho is going to come out. He looks pretty tired, and that hasn't been the best half of home football that we've seen. So I want to see something better because that was pretty poor, and we're going to take this guy out and probably put on Kim Shin-jin, which is going to be a little bit tricky because he is normally supposed to play in the back. Kim Sung-min will come on as well in defensive midfield, and let's see if that gives us at least a little bit of what we're looking for. So we're down 1-0 here. We do have a chance still. This isn't awful. This isn't the worst performance we've seen. This isn't one of those I want to blow up the tactic type of performances like we saw a couple days ago. Good job by Ki Sung-young to win that, and then he loses it right away, and Edgar Silva's behind the defense. Fortunately, his shot is off the post and goes to the outside, but a little bit frustrated, and so we may have to take drastic measures. I was reading on the forums the other day that if you berate your players, sometimes they'll respond, so we'll see if that works or not. Oh Sang-jin over to Kim Jin-sung. He moves this up himself and then loses possession. Lee Han-bum, who has not been playing up to his potential, crosses that over and ends up with nothing. Itae Suk now takes a shot from range and doesn't quite work. The thing about Lee Han-bum is that when you're, and a lot of people fired up by the feedback, interesting. The thing about Lee Han-bum is that when one of your best players is a center back, you really have to watch out because it's not a great sign. You don't want your best players to be in the back. That's what I learned from the Ingolstadt save, where we had a guy who was a superstar center back who was making a lot of money and ended up injured most of the time and couldn't do anything to help us. We're about 60 minutes into this, so we're going to take a couple more guys off because we're having some problems. Let's see here. Yeah, it's Oh Sang-jin who looks like he's playing poorly. So we'll put Yulichenko on for him and see if that makes a difference. Confirm changes. There we go. There's a substitution. Oh Sang-jin, who played well in an earlier match, had 2 goals. This one, not really trying very hard. So if we don't win, as I've told you before, that will earn him a fine. And he's going to learn what being a stern disciplinarian is like because you have to try a little bit harder than this. He's been getting the ball in good position, which is okay, but he seems to be incapable of scoring and seems to not care. So let's see what we can do. We don't have a whole bunch of poor performances, but we have enough to make me concerned. Go Johan here up and finds nobody. Ends up over with Kim Shin-jin down to Itae Suk, and that was a really good chance. We had a real chance there right in front of the goal that unfortunately ended up not quite working. Itae Suk is going to try this again, try the corner rather, and it doesn't quite work. We're unable to get our head onto it once again, and so we're playing catch-up here, and we have almost the entire team in front of the attacking player, and it still takes us a while to knock it out. So it doesn't quite work out the way that we wanted it to. This was it right there from Kim Ju-sung. That was close to going in, really should have gone in. Better shot, I think, would have helped. So remains 1-0 for Daegu, and let's see if we can stop them from attacking, and we have not been very successful in doing that. We kind of knocked this ball far or away from the danger zone, but not quite far enough, and this is going to be a little bit problematic. And there's Edgar Silva, who's behind the defense once again. He's been behind the defense all day long, and nobody can seem to stop him. So it's another corner here for Daegu, and we're going to see what we can do to prevent this one from going in. We need to figure something out. Berating the team didn't help at all. And we need to get some other shout or something else going on because this just isn't working. So we will demand more and see if that gets fire lit under these players. I'm not sure. A lot of poor performances, like I said. And so we had a lot of momentum at the beginning of the match, but we didn't get anything out of it. Kim Shin-jin now with the ball. Back to Go Johan. Go Johan with it. All the way up right side. So there is a chance here. And he crosses over to Kim Shin-jin, but it doesn't quite work out. This is the reason why Kim Shin-jin is all the way in the back. In fact, that's what we're going to do with him here. So yeah, he's going to be in for Ihan Bum, and we're going to take him out. And we're going to put in So Jaemin because even though he's injured, because we need somebody to play up front. So we'll see how this works. Ingu is able to knock that one out, and there's another cross. And fortunately, Novak is there to grab Edgar Silva's shot. Only one goal given up today, so he's had a good match, but it's been really frustrating. I see his problems like that, passes like that from Kim Jin-sung that are really, really frustrating. We should be doing better than that and not be giving up the ball right in the middle of the pitch like this. This is ridiculous. One of the problems that we have, as you know, is injuries. We still have, I think, 5 or 6 guys who are injured, including players who normally would start at defensive midfield. And that's where the biggest problems are because these guys are just not playing well. So it looks like it's going to end up being a 1-0 loss unless they score something here, and they won't. It's going to be another corner. Hwang Jae-won is going to take this. It'll take him, I think, a second to get it going. He's waiting for something, not sure what, and it comes up and it's knocked right back to him. And he lets it go out for a throw, so that's going to be the end of that. Now we're going to see the throw in as well, which is not a good thing. It would be nice if we could get a hold of the ball and have some sort of attack instead of standing here and playing defense all day. I'm not sure what more to do with this team. We'll try to fire them up. Kim Sung-min ends up winning it, so he does do something good. Over to Kim Shin-jin, and that's the end of that highlight. So we don't have much time left, and this is looking pretty pathetic. I think that we're going to end up having to take the loss, and fortunately, Go Johan's able to prevent that from being a second goal, but that's not going to help us. We need to score. We want to get at least something out of this match if we're going to have any sort of title hopes, and it looks like those are going to drift away. So this has been a pretty poor match from us. Like I said, we're going to have a stern talking to with all of these players, a number of fines, and we'll probably end up making some guys upset, which is great. If they get upset, they can go play for a different team. I'm more than happy with that. I'm more than happy to get rid of guys who don't want to play. We dominate XG, can't score a goal. See you tomorrow.